the partner from Mexico City, the stranger dead in Nevada, and the man with the cauliflower ear. All added up to a corpse on a concrete floor. But I couldn't figure why until I found out there was one name above all that had to be remembered.
Sono lieto di poter rievocare in poche parole le esperienze delle prime trasmissioni radiotelegrafiche a grandi distanze da me felicemente eseguite attraverso l'Oceano Atlantico il 12 dicembre 1901.
Holy snapping bra straps.
Republic of Avalon Radio. It's 0 hours Avalon Standard Time.
Hi, this is Jim Fidler from Aliquippa, Pennsylvania.
Hey there, this is Georgia from Caribbean Free Radio in Trinidad and Tobago.
Hi, I'm Bob McDonald, the science guy from CBC's Quirks and Quarks.
Hey Jim, this is Bill Ballou in Ashland, Oregon.
Hey, this is Hope Povenmire from the Audio Mirror Podcast.
Hi, this is Indra. I'm from Barbados, Christchurch.
This is Roseanne talking to you from the oldest city in North America, shouting out from St. John's, Newfoundland, my hometown. Welcome to the Republic of Avalon Radio.
Republic of Avalon Radio.
The best radio in the whole wide world.
You're with the roar.
Here now is Jimmy Fidler.
Republic of Avalon Radio. You're with the roar. I'm Jim Fidler, as usual, or as unusual gets sometimes. Howdy, stranger. Yes, stranger than most, I say, from time to time. We don't get that much around here in the Republic of Avalon. People just don't generally tend to go around and say howdy. For some reason, I don't know why, but that's just the case. But in any case, speaking of cases, the case is, the roar is back, and I'm very, very happy to be back, roaring again, and very, very happy to be back in the chair. Last week I took the R9 into my hand and just sort of walked around the kitchen and talked, and it was just kind of a spur-of-the-moment thing. Instead of worrying about the whole big production and all the tangly editing and everything, I just decided to do something really quick so as to just get something up and get something out for you all. And just let you know that we're still alive. Here we are, and we're roaring again. But this week, I'm in the studio, back at the microphone. The microphone I'm at right now actually is the microphone the roar started with way back in episode 1. This is my old trusty, tried and true, all-purpose Audio-Technica small diaphragm condenser mic. I forget what episode it was. Maybe episode 3, 4, I have no idea. I switched over from this one to the Audio-Technica large diaphragm condenser mic because it seemed a bit more sort of broadcasty. But I have a new mic. I just haven't bothered right now, again, just for the sake of being expeditious and just getting something so that we keep this roar rolling. Wanted to get a show up tonight, so I said, well, here I am. Lillian just went out for a while. She's jumping around somewhere in a room with a bunch of other people jumping around. I think they call it exercise or something. I don't quite know what that means. I get out of my chair every now and again and go for another beer or something. That's really about the extent of my exercise. But while she was gone, I figured I would endeavor in the exercise of doing this little piece and tidying up and tying together the various little pieces we have for you on this episode of The Roar, episode 66. Is it 66? Yes, it is. Wow. Pair of sixes. Who'd have thunk it? So here I am back at the microphone. The mic that I'm going to be, I think, next episode, starting out with and perhaps keeping with if it sounds good, if it works, is the Shure SM7B, which is a kind of a broadcasty type mic. I think if you just did a search for SM7B, you would probably find it. And it's a very nice mic. It's a broadcasty type mic. This microphone I'm using right now really isn't designed for what I'm doing with it right now so much, but this other one is, this Shure SM7B. So have a look for that. It's a very nice looking microphone, and it also works quite well on vocals. I've done some vocals on my new record on that mic, and in fact, very, very shortly I'll play you a song from that record, and I used that mic. Did I use that mic on all the tracks? No, I didn't. It was before I had that mic, sorry. Never mind. This episode of The Roar, we have for you a little stroll about in the Republic of Avalon. Those were always well received way back in the day when we were roaring along. So myself and Lillian are just going to go out, take a little stroll, take you guys out with us and see what we come up with and who we run into and all that sort of stuff. Also, I have a little piece that I put together for you that I think you'll find quite interesting. It's a little bit about audio, the three-dimensionality of audio. Isn't it funny how we've got that third dimension we can hear, but we only have two ears? How does that work? So I talk a little bit about that and give you a little bit of a demonstration. And be prepared, folks. Have your headphones on. This is, we always say at The Roar, best listened to on headphones. This episode is an absolute must on headphones, so get those headphones. If you're listening now on a boombox or something like that, you absolutely need headphones to hear the audio examples I'm going to be playing for you later on. So be good little boys and girls and get your little headphones on and all that sort of stuff. So that's very interesting. Of course, I babble. I don't just give the little audio examples. I start talking about all kinds of other things, as I tend to do, and actually get into a bit of talk about visual things. The general idea is what sees and what hears, your ears and eyes or your brain. And you'll be quite interested in the results, I think. So we have that for you. We have our walkabout, and we have some listener email. And aside from that, we have just me talking to you right here, right now. So let's not dilly-dally. Let's push ahead. And again, thanks to everybody who emailed us and who's glad to see us back. We're very glad to be back as well. Hopefully, we'll just keep on roaring along. So, without any further ado, let me reach over here and drop the needle on the record on the turntable. No, we don't do that anymore, do we? In fact, what I'm going to do is just wave my hand in the air. Like I just don't care. And music will just start playing. Why don't we just go right into a track from my soon-to-be-released, very, very soon-to-be-released album. This is a song called Revolution Time, and in brackets, Ringbang Revolution. Ringbang is a concept that you'll be able to read about in the liner notes of my CD, and it's something that you might want to just Google. Ringbang, one word, R-I-N-G-B-A-N-G. It's a very good concept, a very good philosophy. And it works very well for the people of places such as this, Newfoundland, Barbados, and various other places that have been controlled from afar and whose cultures have been overshadowed by people elsewhere through music and television and film, and also through products. Places with lots of natural resources of their own, shipping things in or shipping out the natural resources to have them shipped back as manufactured goods. Things like that, you know. Things what kind of gets the hairs up on the back of your neck and kind of makes you right riley and wanting to, you know, stand up for your rights and all that stuff. So Ringbang, I put that in brackets, the song Revolution Time. And you'll get the gist of it. So, get up. Oh, yes, I told you to put your headphones on. Watch out for the cable. If you jump up to dance, make sure you don't wrench the cable and, break your headphones. We don't want that to happen. So, here it is. This is from my new, almost finished, soon to be released CD. Here's Revolution Time, Ringbang Revolution. You're listening to Republic of Avalon Radio. Woohoo!
Republic of Avalon Radio.
Radio for lazy people who don't want to do nothing.
You're with the roar!
Yes, indeed, that was a lovely jingle. We like those jingles by Jingo. don't we?
We love those jingles.
We love those jingles.
Oh, one moment, I just have to put the trash in there.
She's going to put the garbanzo into the garbanzo holder.
It fell over, actually. It's so windy.
The garbanizer, the garbinator. Yes, so here we are. We're back in action. And here I am on the new R9 HR. And here's Lillian on the new R9 HR as well. And we are embarking upon what would actually turn out to be our first stroll downtown this year, is it not?
It is. This is it.
What do you got, a veil on or something? What's that to go?
That's my scarf.
Your scarf. How come you're wearing a scarf?
It's not really a scarf as much as it is a...
Oh, it's fluff. What
do you call it?
Fashion fluff. That's what I call
fluff,
it.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's meaningless nothing.
It's pretty though.
If I'm going to wear a scarf, I mean, well, for one thing, I don't wear a scarf. But if I were to wear a scarf, I'd be wearing it in a very sort of utilitarian kind of fashion. That's the only fashion that I'm into is, utilitarian fashion.
Well, it's keeping my neck warm anyway.
Oh, nothing better than a warm neck on a cool night.
It is a little cool.
It's not cool. It's cool. It's cool, man. Yes.
Well, yeah, this is your first walk. Actually, probably mine too.
Mm-hmm.
In the evening, anyway.
And is this the first stroll with the new R9?
Maybe.
I think it is.
Really?
I do believe.
Wow. I forgot about that. Wow.
Well, there you have it. So, the roar is back, as you can all tell. And we got some emails from some people. We heard from Anne. We heard from... Directly or indirectly, we've heard from Anne, Peter.
Peter Halliburton, yeah.
Peter Halliburton.
Peter Johnson.
Peter Johnson, yeah. The Peters. Jeez Louise. What's with that? The Peter factor. And you guys thought we were all petered out.
Got a few Peters left yet.
A few Peters left yet. 2 at least. Who else do we hear from?
We
heard indirectly from Helen in Colorado. Sort of, not so much. Well, she just seemed to pop up right around the same time. Something to do with a song. The Fella from Fortune. I haven't heard it yet.
Oh.
But I will give it a listen. I'm just the way I am with email. Folks, I'm terrible with email. It's a bane.
He's really bad with email. Trust me.
Really, really bad. I get emails from people and I'm forever getting back to folks. But, not that the intention isn't there or whatever. I do get back to people, but it just takes a while. Because I do get a lot of email too. To do with various things, to do with music stuff and recording stuff and, different lists I'm on and things like that. Who else have we heard from?
Well, we got an email yesterday from Brooklyn, New York.
From Joe.
From Joe, yeah.
Joe in Brooklyn, yes.
Thank you, Joe. That was very, very endearing and interesting email.
It was indeed. In fact, we'll have Lillian read you that email after this little segment. That's what we'll do. It was sort of further to my comments on the last episode regarding the iPod and podcasting and all these kinds of things and tings. So.
Yes, and it's put ideas in my head.
It did?
Yeah, it did after reading his email.
Oh, what ideas were put into your head?
To go on a little excursion.
Oh, that's right. That harebrained idea that you had.
It's a good idea.
I don't know. It sounds like so much sort of activity to me. I'm not supposed to get any work done going out on excursions and the like.
Well, maybe we'll leave it up to the listeners. What do you think? Maybe we'll do a poll.
No.
No poll?
No, that smacks too much of democracy.
Okay.
We will have no democracy here.
No democracy. All right.
No, this is the Republic of Avalon. We don't. This is
true.
not. It's not the Democratic Republic of Avalon. We wouldn't want
me.
that.
I plumb forgot. It's been a long time.
Well, see, that can always be infiltrated. It's no problem. All you do is set up a center of power somewhere, and the bad guys, like moths to flames, will find it. It's just the way it goes. If you want candy, you go to a candy store. If you want beer, you go to a beer store. If you want power, you go to where the power is, and that's just the way it goes. So we don't have a source of power here. We don't have a center of power in the Republic of Avalon. It's kind of a, how would I put it? It's kind of an anarchistic commune. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah.
As opposed to a communist anarchy. It's nothing to do with communism at all. I mean, commune in the sense that everyone just lives and let lives. That kind of commune. It's funny, people's concepts of words like socialism. Like, what does socialism mean? Most people just think it's kind of a nice thing where you know.
It sounds like a bunch of people being social.
It does, but if you look more into it, there's a lot more to it than that.
For sure.
So, there you go. So, an anarchistic commune, that is the non-democratic Republic of Avalon. Now we got that sorted out. We have to start working on the charter now.
Yeah.
How about we could have our very own Bill of Lefts and rights, just to be fair and equal to everybody.
We could do that. Put it up on the website so everybody knows what the rules are.
Yeah. So, anybody else that we should make mention of?
I know I'm forgetting somebody.
I'm sure we are forgetting somebody or other. We're like that. Now, there are some people that we haven't heard from.
Yes.
Now, I mean, that list is endless, isn't it?
For sure. Right off the top of our heads, though, I can think of a couple.
Yeah, I was thinking, where's that Hope girl? Maybe we might hear from Hope, but I hoped in vain.
And
we didn't hear from you, Hope. Get in action, baby.
Maybe she dropped us.
Maybe she dropped us like a bad habit. Well, it wasn't really much of a habit for the last year, was it?
No, not much, no. That's for sure. Well, hopefully you guys will come back.
Yeah, come back.
Come back, please, come back.
Yeah, but they don't have to come. They're not going to come back if they're not back already. They're not going to hear us saying come back.
Right, exactly. So pass on the word, you guys.
Pass on the word. We're sorry. We were away. Actually, the long and the short of it is, right when the roar petered out, we went through the worst winter of our lives on all fronts. It was absolutely terrible. I guess in life you have your good times and your bads, you have your ups and your downs. Well, these were our downs. We had terrible times. Not between the two of us. We weren't, fighting or, going through any sort of marital
general doom and gloom.
General doom and gloom, financial and weather and this and that and everything.
Winter's so depressing anyway.
Yeah, and then heap a whole bunch of more misery on top of it.
Yeah.
And you got last winter for us. So we really had nothing to be sharing with you all.
Yeah, we tried. We put on a brave face, but
we did.
And then we listened back and we thought, nah, it just,
we recorded bits and pieces and just never released it.
Yeah. So
the misery cast that we made.
We could give you a whole year of misery, but
no,
we won't do that.
No. And then after the misery, things lightened up. It kind of came to a crescendo last June, and then after that, things started to lighten up and
things, lots of changes, lots of great things happened.
Yeah, working on making those videos and getting the new car and all that sort of stuff. And
a lot of really, really good things.
And making the album, which I just listened to before we left the house. What I believe may very well be the final track order of the songs, and that means that I sort of temporarily, at least, decided to, well, not temporarily, but I shelved a couple of songs that I'd have to do more work on. And that's not to say I'll leave them off the record, but it occurred to me that the ones that I have there, but for a few little twiddles here and there on one song, the album would be done. And that'd be a good situation to be in. So I put the songs in order and I listened to them, and it felt good. It felt like an album, I don't have all the little extra bits put in. That's something to do with what I was mentioning last time, kind of a surprise. And I won't get into it now. It's kind of, let's keep it top secret, but because I guess I have to reserve the right to maybe change my mind about it, but I'm pretty sure. And you guys will all find that interesting. And the two people that I mentioned in the last episode that I was going to get in touch with, I got in touch with them and asked them if they wouldn't mind giving my stuff a listen, just to put my mind at ease and maybe have a tip or two on a little EQ issue here or there, something like that. I know I know the songs aren't sounding bad as they are, but I think it will help to have other speakers in other rooms by other than I listening to these songs, and not just any other people with any other speakers and so on. One of these people is my good friend Slough in New York City, who produced the Christmas song that we did, the Pod Safe for Peace, that we did, the year before last, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
And that was a mammoth project. He took together tracks from all over the world, many parts of the world anyway, vocal tracks, and I think he recorded the music itself at his place, and then all the various vocal parts were recorded all over, including a bit by me, and then we all sent Slough our vocal tracks, and he assembled them and mixed them. It's not an enviable task, because of course all the vocal tracks that he's getting from everywhere are totally different. They all sound different. So he had to do quite a bit of sonic manipulation to get them all to blend and jive. So as was at the time, my hat is still off to him on that project. We've also played some of his music on the show in the past. He's a musician and songwriter and singer, as well as a producer and engineer, studio owner. So I was talking to Slough, and he said send it on. He'd be more than happy to help me any way he can, even if it's just to say, hey Jim, the songs sound cool as they are, even if it's just that. So a big thanks in advance to Slough. And the other person who I mentioned as part of that kind of golden ears, well respected and well trusted in terms of knowledge of sound and music and so on, is my friend Tom Kingston, who I believe is embarking upon writing a book. At least he's very seriously thinking about it. A book on audio engineering. And after many, many years of knowing Tom through mainly the MIDI Mag list, but not just from that, not just through that. We've spoken on the phone from time to time, and he owns the same machine as I do, the Roland VS2480. You want to know what that is? You can Google it. You can just go to rolandus.com and do a search for VS2480 and have a look at the baby. Tom has one of those, so do I. So over the years, we've kind of crossed paths that way too. I think he had a 1680 before that, as did I. But in any case, Tom very graciously agreed the same as Slough. So I'm going to send him the music as well, and he'll run it through his filter, see what happens. And of course, a big thanks to you in advance as well, Tom. Definitely very, very much appreciated. It's an objectivity thing, you know. It's not that I, can't play guitar or can't play drums or can't play bass or can't play keyboards or whatever. It's not that I can't mix either. It's just very helpful for other people to hear the music when you're doing it yourself. And you wrote the song, you're playing all the instruments on it, you're singing it. I'll tell you one thing, for example, that I've thankfully finally fought off. One big tendency that people have naturally for some reason. It's like the old thing, not liking the sound. Is this the overpass? We are under the overpass.
I think that's
Who?
Jim and Sue.
Really? Greetings.
Hey.
How's it going?
I said all the young ones are going downtown.
You guys-
We're going home.
you guys are
I
wo-
must rephrase that.
You guys are worldwide right now. You're on the roar.
Hey, how's it going, everybody in the wide world? This is
I
Jim
heard
and
your song.
Susie.
I heard your song on the radio the other day.
Yeah,
Which
going
one?
down to the river.
Excellent.
Which one?
Going down to the river.
I loved it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's going down to the
Oh,
river, but
nice.
something like that.
Really
It was
nice.
like,
Because it was playing,
the
I said,
merman.
"This is really nice." Jim said, "That's Jimmy." I said, "Yes, man."
There you go. Cool.
That's really nice.
So where are you guys coming from?
We went
shot a bit
for
of
a long
pool.
walk, played a few games of pool.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
I won the money games.
Oh, the money. Yeah, well, we play for stakes, eh?
We played
I like
Well, there's
steaks.
sexual stakes.
I like steaks. Oh, too much information here, folks.
I'll have my beer. Thank you.
On that note, I think we'll move on here.
Yeah, we gotta spice it up. Right?
That's right.
No, we didn't. We went to one club and.
We're a family show.
I think it was the Nightingales or something. I don't
Oh,
know.
the
what they
Tequila
were.
Mockingbirds.
Tequila Mockingbirds.
Tequila Mockingbirds.
Yeah.
They were
nice
like-
sound. Somebody should teach them how to mix.
What's that?
How to make some moves.
What?
Yeah. That was
That
like
big
somebody
running
ran over
over
a cocaine or
gravel.
something. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was it's noisy down here.
Mhm.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
It is a
It's
mess,
an absolute
wow.
mess. You're better
Well-
off not seeing.
There you go. Cool. All right. Well, we're gonna roar on.
All right, yeah,
heading down
have
to,
fun. We were
Aaron's,
going to
eh?
go in
Yeah.
Aaron's, but nobody's playing
I
there.
don't think so. Not
There's
tonight.
a session, I heard.
Yeah, but
That's
after
over.
the session, I didn't
Well.
see anybody scheduled to play.
Nobody's scheduled to play after them, yeah.
All right, we'll let you guys go.
Okay.
We'll see you
Take
soon.
care. Bye. Oh. So. What,
Let's get off the road first.
What-
What's that?
house on your street?
Yeah.
We went to check it out the next day. It was so.
You know, yeah, I was looking for the sign. That's a drag. That's a drag. Did you find a house after?
Okay, folks. We're trying to pick this up here. Not having a whole lot of luck, but. So what was I talking about? The last going off? I think I was talking about. Oh yeah, yes. The objectivity thing. It's kind of a natural thing for people not to like the sound of their own voices for some reason. Everyone's had that experience themselves, or seen that happen. I guess you. Back in the day, you'd have a tape recorder and you record somebody, and then you play it back and they say, "That's not me. That sounds horrible," and they just don't like the sound of their own voice. Well, I think it's part of that instinct that causes people, when they mix themselves anyway, to mix their own vocal kind of down into the music. And that's just something that happens. So I'm ever mindful of that. And when it comes time, before the actual final is done, I always push the vocal a bit more just to see if I can get away with it and make sure that the vocal's plenty present. But depending on the type of music, some types of music, the vocals are a lot more on top of. Like traditional music, traditional Celtic music, whatever, the vocals tend to be well on top of the instrumentation. But not the case with something like reggae. So I think actually my vocals on this record are well present, I think. So there we have that. But that's something, for example, that's an example of the objectivity thing that one must grapple with. And that's something where like a Slough or a Tom, for example, might not so much that's just an example, but mainly my thing is EQ, equalization, the whole overall equalization. I've got everything else happening absolutely fine in terms of loudness and all this and that, mix, everything's fine, but they might spot a couple of things that in the haystack in which I've been chasing needles for a considerable amount of time now. Some things might jump out at them and be very obvious. So that is the point of that. And I tell you, it got me excited because as soon as I talked to those guys, I went back to get the songs for them, which means I exported them again, gave them another pass, and in the process I had a tweak at the mixes. And it's amazing, just knowing that I was sending the songs to these guys, knowing who they were, and all of that, and just the kind of realization, the finality of it all. Like, gee whiz, this is the finale. I'm round the bend and headed for home. It just completely. It's sort of. What was it I said to you? It's like I did things, mixing-wise, snap, really quickly, that before I'd be just sort of waffling about and twittering over and taking all kinds of time. But just because of the knowledge that Slough and Tom are going to be hearing this stuff, the album is almost finished. So just very expeditious, I must say. So there you go. So there will be a new album very, very soon, folks, for you all to hear. And hope you all, race to jimfidler.com and buy it.
You guys are gonna love this album.
Yeah, I hope so.
Oh, I don't see why not. I think, wow.
The album itself, in a way, has been more than 20 years in the making, because I had this idea to record an album in 87 or 88, I can't remember which. And I've done everything else but record that album. Or maybe I should say, everything else I've done has been other than recording that album. So here it is finally, after 20 plus years, producing records for other people and making a couple of CDs with Pressure Drop and my sort of folk / Celtic, whatever you want to call that, stuff. And here it is. I just really hope that anybody who loves music is going to love this record. So, you don't have to be... Huh? You don't have to be a quote-unquote reggae fan, I don't think, to appreciate this record. that's the way it is sometimes. Sometimes records can be very sort of insular, and other times they can be more sort of reaching out. And I think this is one of those reach out records that kind of reaches out and says, you know, dig this. So, and not just dig the music or anything. I mean, you know, dig the music if you want, dig the message if you want. You can just listen to the music 10,000 times and not pay any attention to the message if you so desire. That is possible because this music has ample sort of grooves and rhythms and things to kind of keep you busy.
Yes, absolutely. It's fat. That's
It even has a song on it called Busy.
It does.
Yeah, it's
very good song too.
P-H-A-T, I hope.
Yes.
Yeah, so very exciting times, as you can well imagine, over 20 years. Like even the records with Pressure Drop, they involved, you know, four other people, more than that actually, but 4 other group members. So that was not a solo project, no matter which way you twist it. Even though I was producing it and, you know, had a lot to do in terms of arrangements and instrumentation and things, I was making the record for the group. So I was just, you know, trying to get the group across. That was the whole idea of that. But in this case, it's more of it's my baby, that, you know, on this go around. So any of you who are familiar with the Pressure Drop stuff and you like that, I guarantee you you'll like this. And there you have it. Very exciting times.
Indeed. Indeed.
Indeedy-weedy.
So we're right down in the heart of downtown now.
Getting there.
Just about. You guys probably remember this area. 'Cause,
this is where the Big Bite.
Yeah.
The Big Bite burnt Big Bite.
In the Burn Building.
The Burn Building, yes. Big Bite burnt in a building called the Burn Building.
That's right.
Yes, indeed.
A few changes downtown.
Yeah, what's changed?
Well, Big Bite's gone.
Different people around, I notice.
And there's a new pub here, which is...
you notice the people are different?
The people are different.
You've had the same people who were here last time?
No, I don't think so.
What's with that?
I can tell.
Oh, yes, you're talking about Shamrock City.
Yeah.
We talked about that at one point.
We did. I think it was just opening. I don't think it was actually open yet.
But was that actually in a show, or was that a bit that we recorded and never put up?
That could be too. Maybe we didn't put it up.
See, we don't know, folks. There's like this big like lost episode of The Roar, and we don't know what's what anymore. No. We're sort of lost, but we're caught between The Roar and the sort of lost Roar.
Yeah.
So.
This is Friday night.
Quel sauvage!
It's kind of.
We are having some of those savages.
Yeah, and this is also the last weekend for MUN, Memorial University students' exams. So I think they're all finished this weekend.
So they're on the hoo-has.
They're on the hoo-has for sure.
Ah, I see.
So, but this is we would usually pass this area and we go to our place, which is further down the road.
Yes.
And a bit quieter.
Yeah, it's kind of mad up this way. We're quite happy to go further down the road, down to Aaron's. We've met some of you down there. Yeah. We've met some of the Roar listeners have met us, and
Tim and Lou,
and Ann and Vic, of course,
and Vic, yeah.
Who else?
Tom Kingston?
No, not Kingston.
No, not Tom Kingston. I'm sorry. No, it's not Tom Kingston.
You were talking about Tom from Rochester, New York.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Tommy boy.
That was cool. Wow.
Yeah. And just all kinds of people that we've hooked up with over the years.
It's so bizarre, like, for somebody to come into the pub and tell us that, you know, they've been listening to the show. It's like, wow.
Well, we've met people who... Seriously, we've met people who who've heard all the shows inside out and sometimes several times. And boy, they know stuff about us that they got to remind us of.
Yeah, it's crazy really, because when we're doing these, like, I'm not thinking about so much, I'm certain people that are probably going to be listening, but I don't really think about it, like who's listening when we're doing this. So so it's when somebody comes up and tells you that, and what about the guy, the truck driver, what's his name?
Bob. Well, wait, no, we never met him.
No, we didn't meet him, but I was just like kind of thinking about people listening and hearing all the episodes.
Yeah, we mentioned him last episode. Yeah. Hey,
how's it going, Jim?
What's happening?
Hey, Lillian. Good to see you guys.
We got
long time no see.
It's been a long time, yeah.
We got the mixer man on the go here.
Yeah, we had the mixer man. So what have you been up to?
Just finishing up a new record and getting ready for all of that, and doing another show here.
Cool.
Yes. How about yourself?
Oh, same old same here. I'm busking away, making the cash. Getting rid of the bills.
well, can you start us a tune for our walk away?
Let's start with a tune for a walk away.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll play my new tune for you.
All right.
Endless Days by Crash Parallel.
All right. And we'll catch you next time.
Okay.
Have a good one, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
So there we have it, Richard Mixer, just like old times.
It is.
It's amazing.
We haven't seen him in a while.
We haven't seen him in ages. Yeah. Folks, don't get psyched out. If you're wearing headphones and there's people coming at you and stuff like that, don't panic. They are not in your actual environment. They are just in the roar. and you are with the roar. So don't fall off your bicycle or anything like that. We don't want to have any mishaps due to the roar.
Indeed not.
Indeed. So, we're getting sort of into the zone here now.
We are. We're nearing the vicinity of
final approach to Rose and Thistle and
sort of.
Well,
close, yeah.
This is the final approach. I know where we are. This is kind of honing in on getting down toward Atlantic Place, and
it's been a long time, hasn't it?
It's been a while.
Just listen to this.
What place is this?
Too.
Fascinating.
Cool. That's pretty interesting buskers, isn't it?
I think didn't we see them one time before?
Did. Yeah, they're
They're what? They're brown?
No.
What?
I think there might be some Labrador. Possibly.
Oh, I see. Yes, I remember that time. That was on an episode of The Roar.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know which one.
Made some kind of joke.
I made some sort of joke about being, as long as it sounds all right as long as you're into it.
That's right.
Something like that.
Exactly.
So there we have it, folks. What else? That's pretty much it, I guess. Other than we need shout-outs. We need new shout-outs. Don't want to just keep playing the old ones. We need new shout-outs from you guys. So make your little MP3s or WAV files or whatever you want to do and send them to us. Just go to our website, republicofavalonradio.com. And of course, you can get in touch with us through there. And we want to hear from you. We want you to be part of the roar. We want you to be heard. We want you to have your roar, as it were. So send us in your audio files. And if any of you have ideas for anything, like we've said before, something that you might want to share with the rest of your fellow listeners, just let us know. And we're malleable.
Yes, we always need content.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Okay. Well, let's say that's it for now, and we'll catch you guys on the other side. I guess we have another one of those jingly things coming up, don't we?
I think we do.
And then after that, of course, Lillian will read the letter we got from Joe in Brooklyn.
Right.
So that's it from us.
All right, we're just
live in the Republic. Roaring on.
Coming in from the cold.
We're coming in from the cold.
Republic of Avalon Radio.
Either you're with us or you're with the terrorists.
You're with the roar!
There are new messages.
This email is from Joe Fidler of Brooklyn, New York. And he says, I thought your cast was great, and I missed hearing it on my iPad or while using other computer products from computers based in California. It was a year and 3 weeks between casts. Please make another cast very soon. I will tell everyone I know to subscribe to your cast on. And then he says in big capital letters, Joe from Brooklyn, New York. P.S. I'd like to hear you and Lillian driving around the Avalon in your new car. Maybe you can hit a moose. Say it ain't so, Joe. How about them Dodgers?
Well, there you have that. Too bad about them Dodgers, but things do get dodgy from time to time. Not much we can do about it. In any case, at this point in time, I have the great pleasure, the great honor, the great thrill to introduce to you somebody who has a very interesting piece for you that he's put together, our in-the-field correspondent, Other Jim. Thank you, Jim. This is Other Jim again. I haven't been here since several episodes ago, in which you interviewed me. I was out walking outside in the Republic of Avalon, and you interviewed me. It was, I think, in May of maybe 2006, I do believe. I guess all you people can go back and have a look and see when that was. But it was very interesting, I must say. So, in any case, what was it you wanted me to talk about? I think you're supposed to babble about audio illusions or something. No problem. Well, it's sort of interesting anyway that, technology is interesting, but I find even more interesting than technology the things that... You see, technology comes from somewhere. The idea of electricity, for example, which we think about Thomas Edison and the light bulb and all these things. Actually, a very interesting person to do a search for on Google or whatever is this person called Nikola Tesla. Very, very interesting person that very few people know anything about, but in fact, all the electricity that we use in our houses and so on is using something called alternating current, or AC, as we refer to it. And that was the work of Nikola Tesla. So when we think of, all these various inventors and clever people, Einstein, gets the bill, and so does Thomas Edison, but I think quite unfairly, comparatively speaking, to the achievements of Nikola Tesla. Excuse me, Nikola Tesla. He's my man. He's the cat. So go have a little search and have some interesting. Have your eyes opened up on some of the things that you know and you've come to take perhaps for granted in your day-to-day lives, and realize that was Nikola Tesla, not Einstein or Edison or anybody else. And he's also a bit of a controversial character as well. So, very interesting stuff. But in any case, my point about all of that is, as I walk around my kitchen here, with my R09, or R9 as we refer to it, HR, the new one. And you can hear me walking around, I guess. A little bit of ambience, especially if you're wearing your headphones. We always say at the Roar here, best listened to on headphones. And that is for a reason. That is because a lot of the things we do when we're out walking around and things like that, they're all stereo recordings. And it really puts you more into the atmosphere if you listen to these things on headphones. If you just have them on a little boom box over in the corner, the effect isn't nearly as great. And some music, especially music that was recorded stereophonically, obviously, tends to work much better on headphones too. And all our music, the whole show, everything that we prepare for you is all done in stereo, at least in stereo. In fact, very soon, the reason why I'm here is to demonstrate something to you that's a little bit more than stereo. But it isn't. That's the interesting thing about it. A few years back now, I bought a pair of binaural microphones. Binaural recordings are very interesting. They don't really do a whole lot in terms of, like I said before, if you're just listening on a boom box from the next room or something, it's no big deal. If you sit down between a set of stereo speakers, it means more. But ultimately, where you're going to get the full effect of a binaural recording is wearing headphones. A good set of headphones, set at a good moderate level, so as to be natural. So that's the thing I would say for this next little bit. Make sure that you're in a situation. This next little bit that I'm going to present to you, if you're listening right now on a train or some noisy place, make a note and be sure to listen to this next little bit somewhere where you can really hear what you're listening to, because it's astounding. The principle here, when you think about it, a binaural recording simulates how the human ears work together to calculate various sonic, point A to point B's, and reform them in your brain as, three-dimensional sound. So, I mean, you would think it would seem, anyway, when you think about it, that if you only have two listening sources, two audio receivers, how can you hear any more than just, say, a left and a right? How could you, for example, hear up and down, or front and back, or whatever? Now, I've noticed this in mixing myself over the years. I've always been very conscious of that, mixing in stereo, and you do get that. I noticed a long time ago that it's not just a matter of volume and pan, that if you care to, you can mix various shades of color as well. And it's kind of complicated how that happens. I don't even know why or how that happens. I just tend to spend the time and tweak and do various things so that I can get that working. So I've had people say to me, for example, that my Midnight Rover album, they listen to that in their car or wherever. They're listening to other CDs and they put that one on, and I've heard it said to me that it sounds like it makes some other CDs they were listening to sound like they were in black and white. And I was so happy to hear that, because that was very much on purpose. I very, very deliberately did that. I was really thinking, okay, I really do want to have this record. There was a sound I was looking for, and I described it myself as the difference between seeing. I remember as a young boy, color TV wasn't really a big thing. And I remember just being absolutely gobsmacked by, walking into somebody's house, going in through the hallway, turning the corner into their living room, and seeing this big, beautiful color thing happening, like a football game. I remember that. I remember one time, the image is still burned into my brain. I remember whose house it was too. And there was an NFL, I think it was an NFL football game on the television. And wow, the colors. I just couldn't believe the greens and the reds and the blues and the yellows. It was just unbelievable. And so I kind of had that in mind when I made Midnight Rover. It was to me, it was like that. It was that striking thing where you could see the color in the music. And these things are not metaphorical or whatever. They're quite real. When you do things like that, when you do your little audio things, and then you hear from people who don't know anything about audio, they're just regular people going about their lives, and they come back, they email you or stop you on the street or whatever, and tell you. We have other examples of this as well. There's an episode of The Roar called I Still Remember. If you go back and look at that, there's a little story in there where we got a letter from somebody, from Helen in Colorado, about a little girl who heard a song that I wrote for my sister. Anyway, that's self-explanatory, and there's no way that this little girl knew nothing about my sister or nothing about me. And the image that I had in my mind when I composed that piece and recorded it, she saw it in her mind and came up after hearing it to Helen, her teacher, her instructor, and told her. So I've had other experiences like that too. It's very interesting. So what I'm saying is technology is interesting, but technology is only like a way of getting at something that's already there. The stuff that's already there is the really interesting stuff, to my mind. So I don't think Edison discovered lightning, for example, the kite and the key and all that stuff. What's more interesting is that the idea that electricity is already there. It's like Columbus discovering America. He didn't discover America. America was already there. It just needed to be depopulated and conquered, and a major transatlantic African slave trade established, and all these kinds of things. So the whole big beautiful story about Columbus discovering America is a complete fallacy. Just as, thinking about somebody discovering or inventing electricity. See, inventing and discovering are blurry at best. Finding is probably a more accurate way to describe it. Something that's already there can be found. To discover something implies that you thought it up or you invented it or something like that. And that's not the case with many of these things. I suppose you can carry it a step further and say there's nothing new under the sun. Everything is already there, and all we do is put things together. We connect these dots, we plug this Lego block into that Lego block, and the first person to put this series of blocks together or connect those dots in that way gets their name on it. But they didn't come up with it. They didn't invent it. It's just the same as you walk down the street. You walk down the street and go to a pub or a restaurant, and there's a person there, and you meet him or her, and you've never met them before, and then you can go away and say, well, wow, I found this person in that pub or restaurant. But you're not their God, you're not their maker, you didn't create them out of nothing. They were already there. Anyway, I'm ranting. The point of this little exercise here is to show you something very interesting about sound. And as I mentioned, I bought these binaural microphones, and what they do, quite simply, is simulate the way the human ears work. So you have two little receivers, one on each side of your head, and they're called ears. And just from two receivers, you get an endless, well, just to simplify things, you get the effect of having 360 receivers all around your head. So from these two ears, by way of being connected to your brain, your brain actually does the work, not your ears. You think your ears are doing the hearing, but they're not. Your brain is doing the hearing. And from two little reference points, one on each side of your head, sent to your brain says, thank you very much, carries on, and gives you 358 other receivers, simulated virtual receivers. So you have two ears, but your brain gives you the illusion that you have 360 ears. Now, what the heck is Jim talking about? Some of you may be saying. Think about it this way, just close your eyes, put your head up, and, take a penny out of your pocket and, toss it against the far wall and listen to it as it hits the wall and falls and everything. You're not just hearing straight forward and back, or just left and right. In fact, if you throw it up, let it hit the ceiling, throw it in such a way that it's going to hit the ceiling and then ricochet off the wall and then down to the floor. With your eyes closed, you know that it hit above you, and then it hit the far wall, and then it hit the floor, and then maybe it starts rolling and rolls all around in circles on the floor. And even with your eyes closed, if you pay attention, as many of us non-sighted people do, when we drop a coin, it rolls all over everywhere. We just stand, pay attention, listen. It stops, then we just walk over and pick it up. It's amazing, isn't it? So, the eyes work much the same. You really don't see with your eyes, you see with your brain. It's almost as though your eyes are catching some information, and then your brain is editing it before you, quote unquote, see it. Your brain is doing a big Photoshop, or not Photoshop, more accurately, I think you would describe it as a video editing. Like Premiere, Adobe Premiere, or Avid, or one of these type things. So your brain's this video editor. And this video editor is pretty clever and quite interesting at the same time, because this video editor actually leaves things out that he doesn't want you to see, or doesn't think you need to see, but those things nonetheless are there, but you're not seeing them. Also, this editor puts things in. This editor can just blur over an area. So there's something there to be seen. It's visual, and you can see it if it's pointed out to you, if it's brought to your attention. Otherwise, and I'm not talking about not seeing something because you're thinking about other things. I'm talking about looking straight at something and just not seeing something. And your brain actually blurs it out, just like video editing, or like in Photoshop. Let's say you have a beautiful shot for your album cover or your t-shirt or your whatever you're doing, but there's this guy wire or this big tree branch in the way, and it's really ruining the whole image for you. So what you do is you just go in and you take that branch out, because it's not what you want, and then you fill in where the branch was with the atmosphere, like say the blue sky. There's a cloud in the sky that you don't want there. For example, in Photoshop, you can just go take that cloud out and then fill where the cloud was in with blue sky. Presto, no cloud. But there was a cloud there. But now anybody else looking at that image is not going to see the cloud because the cloud has been removed. Your brain does that. And it's very disconcerting in a lot of ways when you think about it. When you think about things like the fractals, you think about the fractal universe. Google that. That's pretty interesting. And when you think about the nature of physicality, when you think about physical things, including your body, what is your body made up of? Made up of cells and smaller bits, and the smaller they get, eventually when you get down to the subatomic level, there's basically nothing there. And then when you look at the gene, the whole idea of all our cells that we're made up of, we're comprised of. If you look up the definition of a hologram, what is a hologram? And how could you show something is a hologram? The basic answer to that question, I'm not an expert, but the basic answer of that is illustrated, say by the following example. If you take let's just say we had two photographs. One's a hologram and one isn't. We want to know which one is. So we're going to take a little pair of scissors, snip a little tiny corner off the top of each of the photographs, and take them away and have a look at them under a microscope. This is, not an exact example, but this is close enough to give you the idea. What you'll notice with one of them, with that little piece that you cut away, no matter how small you try to make that piece, it can be the slightest little tip of the corner. What you'll notice, in fact, if you took the smallest piece, it doesn't matter. You'll find one of them is just a piece that means nothing. It's just a little tiny piece of the picture, and the other one actually contains the whole picture in the little piece. And that is how you determine which of those two photographs is a hologram and which one isn't. Not just by looking at it and seeing some sort of three-dimensional thing happening, but by actually noting that the holographic image is just as you have pixels with images. You look at a picture and it just looks like a picture, but then if you zoom in on it, say in Photoshop or something like that, blow it up, you can see that the picture is made up of a bunch of little pixels, a bunch of little pigments of color. And so the illusion, you're seeing a solid image, but it's actually kind of like an MP3 where there's little bits missing that you don't really hear, or most people don't really hear, certainly at higher bit rates, but even the highest bit rate of MP3 has those pieces missing. And some of us are better at hearing that than others. I'm one of the cursed people who can hear it quite well. Some people say 160 and above, 160K and above is fine. I can hear it all the way up through, even. I guess it wouldn't bother you just from a listening perspective, where you put on some music, you got some friends around, what the heck, who cares? At that point, probably 160 is fine. But from an audiophile perspective, listening on a good stereo or with a set of headphones on, I can hear the artifacts anyway. So that's the whole idea. The image, the illusion, what you see isn't what you get. What you hear isn't what you get. So I guess I could ramble on about that for endless hours. But and it's quite interesting too, because what Lillian does and what I do, we've noticed quite a while ago, and then it's one of those things you just keep getting re-astounded by it. What we do is very, very much the same thing, just dealing with two different spectra. One, the audio spectrum, and the other, the visual spectrum. But the principles are the same. The math is the same, from the low end through the mid-range up through the high end of the spectrum. It's the same kind of stuff, and you have the same kind of harmonics and shadings and the same potential for illusion, for things that you can do with audio or with moving or still visuals that the brain is going to either forgive or fill in or leave out. It's really interesting stuff. I'm sure, there's trillions of dollars being spent all the time for a long time now, figuring all this stuff out and figuring out how to use it to brainwash people, and advertising and education and all these things. But there you have it. So let's move on. Let's carry on here. I'm just babbling and pacing around. And it's a very interesting topic to me too, so you have to really, really excuse my endless ramblings. So I have 2 examples today of some pretty interesting audio. And by now I hope you've gotten into your situation where you're not on a construction site somewhere with jackhammers going all around you and all that. Let's hope you're somewhere quiet with a set of headphones on, and this is an absolute must. You absolutely need headphones for this. Don't listen to it without headphones and say, oh, well, let's just check it out without the headphones and see, No, because you won't really notice anything. It's one of them things. It's like trying to watch a color movie on a black and white TV. You're just not going to see what color that person's shirt is, no matter how hard you look. And that's the way it goes with these binaural recordings. And as I said earlier, I bought a set of binaural mics quite a few years back now. Haven't really done a whole lot of binaural recordings with them. Have been using them mostly as like lapel mics for interviews, and a couple of times, previous episodes of The Roar, just kind of clipped them onto the lapels again, and did 1 or 2 actual binaural recordings out walking around, and it's quite good. But these 2 little examples today are very astounding. So you've got your headphones on, you're in a quiet place, you have your volume set at a comfortable level. You don't want it to be too loud or too low. So just a good, realistic level. Maybe to the point where my voice sounds to you now pretty much like it's not too loud, it's not too low. And I'll make sure that the level of what I'm about to play for you is equal to my voice right now, so as to work and be effective. But here is the first of the 2 examples. In this first example, these, by the way, are from MO Illusions, mightyopticalillusions.com. And there's a lot of interesting visual stuff there too, for all you sighties to look at. And something else you might want to Google and have a look at, which pretty well illustrates what I'm talking about from the visual perspective, is there are a few different websites, but just do a little search for blind spot test. I try that in quotes, actually. Quote, blind space, spot space, test. Quote. And do a search. And I think you'll be astounded at the way the brain tends to do all your seeing for you, and you thought it was your eyes. So, there you go. Here's the first of the 2 little audio images I'll play for you. And this first one is, imagine you're in a chair in the middle of a room, and I'm going to take a box of matches. First, I'm going to light the match by your right ear. And I'm going to go around behind you and light the match near your left ear. And you will hear me going around you. It won't just be a match in the right ear and a match in the left ear. You'll hear the going around behind you, between those 2. Then what you listen for is the shaking of the box of matches. And that's taking place while walking around you. Starting on the left, I believe. Shake, shake, shake. And walking around front of you, I think. It might be starting with front or back. You'll hear. And then matches are still shaking over by your right ear. And then you'll hear the shaking going around behind you. And you'll be able to hear the difference between in front of you, going around in front of you, and going around in back of you. And you're doing this all with a stereo recording. It's just two channel stereo. And you're listening to it only with 2 ears. But still, you're going to hear all that front and back stuff. Then, what's very interesting is that the matches, we stop and then we start shaking the matches again, but this time we move them up over your head and then down over your right shoulder and then down behind your back and back up again and around and around. And here it is. Enjoy. It's pretty interesting stuff. Let me just hit the switch. So, what did you think of that? That's pretty fascinating stuff, isn't it? How can that be? Only with, 2 ears. How can you hear all of that? It's not surround sound, is it? You don't have, it's one thing to have multiple channels of surround sound. You've got, 5 speakers, and so we just mix things so that they go from speaker 1 over to speaker 2, over to speaker 3, over to speaker 4, and back over to speaker 1. So we've made a circle around the room, but that's using 5 channels. That's easy. Any fool can do that. But what you just heard is only 2 speakers. It's only 2 ears. It's only 2 audio channels. It's a 2-track stereo recording. And you heard up, you heard down, you heard front, you heard back, you heard left, you heard right, and all the various points in between. So it's not even just 360, is it? It's not just 360 ears going around horizontally right around your head. You've also got all the up and the down and the diagonals and everything in between, so it's like infinite ears. That's how we hear, just with 2 ears. Or should I say, that's how our brains hear, just by using the source of 2 ears. So, there you have it. Let me move on to the next audio sample. This one is very interesting. This is, it's very cool. You're familiar with the principle, so I won't even explain or describe anything at this point. I think you're in now. You've caught the gist of what's going on here. Let's just play the next one. This is the virtual haircut. Again, this is from moillusions.com. I know with the first one I was talking about Imagine Me walking around. That I didn't do that recording. That is from that moillusions.com. But just to kind of get you ready there and warm you up, I was describing it as though imagine me walking around you, because I'm here talking to you now. And of course I have a stereo sort of thing going on here and all that kind of jazz. So that was just to kind of prep you for the experience. But no, I didn't do that recording. I guess I could. I have the binaural mics. I'm thinking about maybe doing a couple of little bits for the record over the next days. A couple of little interesting little bits to go between the songs. That, for all you people who listen to the new record on headphones, there'll be an extra little hee-hee that everybody else listening will miss. So long live the headphone people, I say. Anyway, here's the next one. This is the virtual haircut. Just close your eyes, sit back, and check this out.
Hello there. How are you? Yes. You are here for the virtual haircut? Yes, okay. I will go get Luigi. He will come and cut your hair. I am Manuel. Just stay right there. Luigi? Luigi? Luigi, it's Manuel here. The person is here for your virtual haircut. You better come up.
Grazie, Manuel. I come right now.
Okay. He is coming up right now, and meanwhile I will go over here and play the music, play the guitar, because that is what I do here at the barber shop.
It's so nice to see you. Welcome to the Starkey Cetera Barbershop and your virtual haircut. I'd like to start the demonstration by moving over to your right-hand side and picking up this bag. If you just hold still for a second, I'll put this bag over your head. Just like that. The bag over the top of the head. And now I'll take the bag off. There we go. The only reason I did that is because all of the fancy barbershops do that. What you're listening to as I move off to your right here and very quickly wash my hands. Manuel, could you get that, please?
Yes.
Thank you, Manuel. Let me finish washing my hands here. Just bear with me for a few more seconds. There we go. Yes. As I was saying, all we are doing is using your head as the listening point. And we have two microphones, one on either side of the head, in the same position as where your left and your right ears are. Your brain is doing all of the work, telling you where the sounds are coming from. Okay, I'll go get the scissors. It's nice and sharp. Now, as I begin the clipping, and I bring the clippers closer to your ear, very close to the right ear. Follow me as I move around the back of the head to the left ear, and up and over the top of the head. Okay. Now, you can get the same effect better with the electric razor. I'll first bring it close to your right ear. Is it perfect? And around the back. And onto your left. There. I think that looks wonderful. Manuel, what do you think?
Huh? What? Oh, yes. It looks wonderful, Luigi. You do such nice work.
Thank you so much, Manuel.
So fast, too.
Now, as I walk around, I just want to tell you once more that your ability to hear where I am as I walk around the room is simply the amazing power of your brain. Calculating the tiny differences or cues in sound intensity and arrival time from two open ears. And unlike any other hearing instrument, only one has the digital algorithm that negates its own physical presence in the ear to fully restore those differences. That algorithm is called Cetera. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for stopping by the Starkey Virtual Barbershop. Goodbye and arrivederci.
So there, that door closed. Where was that door? That was behind you to your right. Just kind of, I don't know, I figure maybe a few feet to your right and probably 6 feet behind you. Now, how are we getting that from a stereo recording? That's amazing. And that bag thing, whoa, man, that'd almost make you want to just tear the headphones off. That was pretty realistic. So it's amazing, isn't it? In terms of sound, in terms of the auditory or the visual, what eyes do in terms of what part we have in what we call seeing, what ears do in terms of what we call hearing, and who discovered America and who invented lightning, and all these wonderful things are just more fascinating things for us to think about around the campfire, folks. So as the audio campfire crackles in the background, let me just say I hope you've enjoyed this little audio piece, and sayonara. Well, that does it for another episode of Republic of Avalon Radio. Hope you've enjoyed your little romp with us as we've enjoyed romping with you. That's the whole idea here, romping and roaring. That's what we're up to. So make sure you keep tuned. Make sure you tell all your friends about the roar. And we get things roaring as they were before. Let's roar again like we did last summer. Could be a song in that. Anyway, in the meantime, from Lillian and myself, take care, be well, and we'll catch you next time right here on Republic of Avalon Radio.
Root Cellar production.